Hello, science enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of Science Daily. I'm your host, Milan Rajabli, and today we'll be taking a deep dive into the Great Chinese Famine and the influence it had on the epigenetics of the Chinese population. 66 years ago, China endured a 2-year-long famine, spanning from 1959 to 1961. However, a new study from Brown University suggests that the impact of the famine lasted years after it ended. According to Brown, hundreds of people who were gestated during a horrific famine that afflicted China between 1959 and 1961 had significantly elevated odds of both hyperglycemia and type 2 diabetes. However, not only were gestated individuals afflicted, but their children also had significantly higher odds of hyperglycemia, despite the famine having ended by the time of their birth. But how could a famine not only cause an increase in the number of diabetics during the famine, but also in the years following? The answer lies in epigenetics. Over to genetic specialist and PhD, Dr. Khedivi, for more on the epigenome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Khedivi, and today I'd like to give a brief overview of the epigenome and its relevance and the relationship between famine and diabetes in parents and children. The epigenome uses chemical tags to regulate which genes are expressed, with a vast variety of conditions that can influence gene expression. In our example of the famine, gene expression can be influenced by the living conditions of the parents and environmental and lifestyle factors to which they are exposed to. The lack of food during the famine caused irregular prenatal development of fetuses, as the parents did not have enough food to sustain themselves or their children. The afflicted children suffered from impaired insulin sensitivity and issues in glucose metabolism, causing hyperglycemia and diabetes.
大家好，我叫张小美，今年是1961年，我刚发现我怀孕了，最近有饥荒，毛主席命令我们把所有的鸟都得杀死，为了提高我们的农业收获。可是，糟糕，没有小鸟以后，蝗虫的数量长得超级快。我们那年除了蝗虫以外，还有干燥，所以食物都没了。我们还不知道，可是今年过完了以后，3000万人会死。但是现在的问题是，我肚子里的孩子可能不会有够营养。
One eternity later.
大家好，我叫张杰，我是小美的儿子。今年是2000年，食物不是一个问题了，我们都能吃得很饱。问题是，因为我小时候没有够营养，我现在就很胖，也有糖尿病。我每天还能跑5公里，也能打高尔夫球。可是我的胆固醇水平太高了，然后我也需要胰岛素。我的妹妹和侄女也有我有的病。
Famine exposure in pregnancy, as stated by the National Institute of Health, may lead to significant changes in DNA methylation levels, causing the dysregulation of metabolic genes. Though gestated individuals during the famine never directly lived through the situation, their environment and exposure to the lack of sustenance caused changes in their epigenome. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, of 983 individuals gestated in the famine years, 31.2% had hyperglycemia and 11.2% had type 2 diabetes. By comparison, of 1,085 people gestated in a non-famine environment, 16.9% had hyperglycemia and 5.6% had type 2 diabetes. Being born during famine years significantly changed the percentage of hyperglycemic people, as roughly 2 times the number of people born to famine-experienced parents had diabetes and hyperglycemia compared to the children of no famine-experienced parents.
Gee willikers, even I didn't know that the epigenome had such significance. As it turns out, there's so much more that affects your body than just your DNA, so it's important to be careful and aware of how environmental factors can influence your epigenome and body. A big thank you to our esteemed scientist, Dr. Khedivi, and to our interviewee, Eddie Zhang.
谢谢您。
And thank you for watching. Yeah, we're good.